to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, I have to recap the most stressful episode of P-Valley ever. Y'all, I had to take breaks. I had to tap in. I had to reach out to a friend like, are you watching? Are you okay? I'm not okay. They gave us so much on this penultimate episode that I'm like, how are we going to wrap all this up in one finale? I'm hoping that the finale is just like extra long. So let's get right into it, okay? So the long-awaited mayoral election is underway. Andre has completely switched gears and was like, you know what? Let me just fully lean into my identity, I suppose. And so this is what Autumn Lakeisha Savage, Queen of Them, had in mind when she called up the girls and was like, you know what? Let's just flip the whole narrative. So Andre's new campaign strategy is sex sales. He has all the girls from the Pynk on as a part of his campaign team or what have you. They're part of the promotion, which this is not that far off. I'm trying to remember who or what movement it was that used dancers to promote. Was it for the vaccine? Anyway, this isn't that far off from real life, okay? So not only that, but Patrice Woodbine came through completely ignoring Corbin's bribe. Matter of fact, she put Corbin's bribe into some money guns and shot it out to her constituents, as she did, well, her prospective constituents, as she did a really troubling twerk session. Nothing could have prepared us for that. Was it camp? I don't know, because here's what. When you look at politics, IRL, it be some wild shit going on anyway. So how far off is it that Patrice Woodbine is fully stripping and Andre is using strippers to campaign for him? You know what? Whatever gets the message out, you know? Ernestine is in the hospital still. She is being haunted by the ghost of her daughter, which is actually the nurse trying to give her water to hydrate her, but she can't quite tell if it's a ghost, if it's a real person. This was really stressful for me. We do not know what Ernestine's fate is even now. I can't. Meanwhile, Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda are having a grand old time playing house while Ernestine is laid up. And here's what. Uncle Clifford has a really good grip on reality, as per usual, knowing that this situation, this playing house, this relationship, these new levels that they've reached, they have a shelf life. Lil Murda song with Tina Snow, aka Megan Thee Stallion, our girl, the single is blowing up. There's a demand for the tour. Uncle Clifford knows that this has a shelf life. This will soon end, and she's bracing herself for that eventuality. I do also just want to say the food always looks so good. A good country breakfast. Oh my God, yes. This also makes me really sad too, because Uncle Clifford is also coming to a place where she feels like she needs to get used to being alone. And that really does make me sad, because I like to believe that we haven't met everyone in our lives who will love us. And I hate that she's kind of cutting herself off from that possibility. But it's also that she's facing the possibility that Ernestine may not pull through and she may be in this house alone. Meanwhile, pardon, do not treat me like toy. I'm COVID-free. Lil Murda is actually a little bit nervous about the fame and the attention, and Uncle Clifford gives him some words of advice, which is, you know, don't try to be everyone's sip of tea, because then there won't be anything left for you to drink. Words to live by, you know. We're talking about boundaries. We're talking about, you know, how we extend ourselves creatively, leaning into our identities. Uncle Clifford is so wise. I love her. So Keyshawn's escape plan is underway. Keyshawn has passports. Keyshawn has the kids' bags packed. Keyshawn has the kids at her sister's house. I say, bitch, when you start back talking to your sister? Because I thought they just like, I thought they were estranged. per like the flashback episodes. I was like, girl, they be babysitting. It's cute. What's the relationship like with everyone else? I'm curious. Derek actually got a job, so he'll be occupied while Keyshawn is dancing. So that's, you know, progress. The plan is underway. Sorry, y'all. Autumn reveals that she's also planning to leave pending the outcome of the referendum, the mayoral race, the fate of the club. And Autumn Haley Lakeisha Savage just gives me that she's a Rolling Stone anyway, because it seems like she didn't really grow up with a lot of stability, so she's very comfortable with up and leaving. But Keyshawn cannot help but to have concern about what this will all mean for Uncle Clifford, because the Pynk has been home to so many people, including Autumn. Like, babe, you live there. So, and she doesn't have that same concern, or maybe she does, but just from a more pragmatic perspective, because she feels like the money from Promised Land could actually end up benefiting everyone. And I think in Autumn Lakeisha Savage's mind, the club is holding Uncle Clifford back, but that's also like not her call to make though. Yeah, no, I don't see it for her. I don't like her. Diamond and Keyshawn have their first interaction in the club since murder night. He extends an olive branch by offering to refill her water. She shows him that she's still wearing the protective necklace and really mashes up several fairy tales. I feel like I was a little bit lost there. Like, I know that we're doing like this hood version of fairy tales, but I was like, he has no idea what you're talking about right now, hun. Like, fill him in on the metaphor, possibly. Like, we know what's going on, but he has no idea what she's talking about. They get interrupted because Big Bone peeps tea, and she does not like Keyshawn pushing up on her man. Like, back up, sis. She thirsty, but I'm hungry. I said, okay, Big Bone. I also would be cuffing Diamond fine ass that hard. Or would I? I don't know if I would let somebody see me sweat like that. Then again, I haven't been in a relationship in like forever, so I don't know what I would do. Mercedes, our good sis. I was so hopeful. I was like, yes, she's pulling through. Mercedes is still just, she's not there. She almost injured Keyshawn. Keyshawn was looking up like, ooh, you know. It looked like she was trying out some new moves. It looked like the new moves weren't really working. I was like, babe, it just might be time to let it go, which upsets me because we love Mercedes. We are rooting for Mercedes, and we also don't like to prove Autumn right. That pissed me off a lot too. But I didn't think Autumn's suggestion was so bad of like, why don't you just be the base instead? But I guess if you're used to being like the A1 top-notch headliner, you don't really want to accept anything less than that. So I understand Mercedes' perspective. And of course, Roulette, with her trifling, traumatized ass, cannot help but to try to rub this in Mercedes' face. I'm really over Roulette. I want somebody to pop her in the mouth. I do, dead ass. Because why you just walk around like this? Ain't you tired, Miss Hilly? Ain't you tired? Just with constant hostility? But points were made about like the lack of safety. Ain't nobody really trying to get crushed. From you falling from that high, no, I do understand the safety concern. Autumn starts talking real spicy to Mercedes. And I'm just like, Autumn, you have some nerve. You basically incited a murder. You need to be as nice to this woman as possible because she did rid you of your abuser. Why are you talking so crazy to her and you can't keep blaming me? Well, who else we gonna blame, hun? You the one brought this man around here. I really don't like her. However, I do understand that there are no white knights here for our girls. And we do have to start saving ourselves. And Mercedes is like, well, fuck it. I quit. I'm not going to stay. If y'all don't think that I'm capable, I'm done. And Uncle Clifford says to her, like, maybe it's just time to start dreaming some different dreams. Like, you know, Mercedes is like, tell me the truth. Keyshawn is better at this than me now. Like, you know, and that's a hard thing. That's a hard truth to ask Uncle Clifford to tell. And I think that she handled it beautifully just by saying, like, look, never mind all that. Maybe you just need to start aiming for something else. And I'm really curious what that can be for Mercedes at this point. So Whisper makes a very ominous statement. I don't know if y'all caught it, but she said, someone always gets hurt on nights like this. And we know murder night, you know, resulted in some bullshit. So what will this night bring? And it brought some bullshit. So the ladies also learned that Keyshawn is going to pull in most of the money because she's the bigger draw. Like, the money won't be split 4 ways. And Keyshawn is like, obviously the girls are not happy about this, but Keyshawn is like, look, we can split it evenly. And Autumn is like, no, you need that money. Hashtag said it all. I need that money. And it's like, you do, Kiki. But anyway, TT, her name was TT. Anyway, she does need the money for her escape. We know that, okay? But is that really fair? I didn't know how I felt about that. Like, yeah, she's the bigger draw, but all 4 of these ladies were going to be featured. I didn't know how I felt about that either. So just then, Farrah texts Mercedes, like, come to Memphis. Why? That's just oddly coincidental for me. Like, why is Farrah always texting in the nick of time? And why is Mercedes, like, always available? But whatever, this is TV. So Mercedes makes the drive to, and also, okay, let me back up. Mercedes makes a drive to Memphis and sees that Farrah has created an exhibit using these unauthorized photos of Mercedes from the Mercedes experience. Now, is this a lovely gesture? Absolutely, but I have questions. Number one, Farrah, let's talk about that wig. What is that? What is that? Is it supposed to be signaling that since you're divorcing Coach, you're stepping into this new identity, and stereotypically women cut their hair when they have issues with men, which is a trope that I really hate, because when I cut my hair, everybody was like, oh, are you going through something with a man? No, a man could not make me change my hair. That's so offensive, but especially to a wig, that offensive. Anywho, if Mercedes is the star of this exhibit, why was she not notified in advance? Why was she not sent like a special invite for this gallery exhibit opening? Additionally, is my girl going to recoup or benefit from this in any way financially? Is Mercedes going to get some money from the sale of these photos that you actually weren't authorized to take or sell or produce? It's a lot wrong up in here, but I do appreciate that at a time when Mercedes is feeling really doubtful about herself, about what she's capable of, about what she deserves, she gets to see herself on display in this really strong, powerful way where people are really admiring her strength. And she's talking to Farrah about the way she had to shift her weight, you know, because her left arm was weak, or was her right arm was, you know, weak. And, you know, Farrah expresses appreciation for Mercedes reigniting her creative juices, among others. Farrah asks, you know, like, what's up with the get down for us, you know, and Mercedes is like, that was business, not pleasure, a little pleasure, but like that door is closed. But I just want to know, is she gonna get some money from these pages or not? Anyway, and like, good for her for divorcing Coach, but also, are you gonna cash my girl out or not? So Autumn is clearly pregnant, and Whisper all woo-woo ass come through talking about like, I hope you ready for twins. I was like, okay, Whisper, like, Whisper annoys me a bit. So I'm sure y'all peeped at the grand re-re-re-opening, right? They're all taking shots, the mayoral team and Autumn. Autumn doesn't take her shots. So does that mean that she's expecting to keep this baby? These babies? Oof, I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't know about it. So we're here. It's the big reopening. Uncle Clifford offers up Big L to Lauren in exchange for them opening at 75% capacity as opposed to 50%, because people are in line agitated about the price and all of the things. But it's like, the club got to recoup the money that they lost. So get with it or get lost. Now, these rival gangs are in here deep, okay? Pico's aggressively pregnant widow, baby mama, whatever, is present in her gang colors. And why? But, you know, so I try not to judge pregnant women because I don't know anything about that experience. But I just feel like when you're about to have a baby, like you're about to pop, maybe don't be in a club during a pandemic. But, you know, I'm not here to mom shame. Do what you feel is best for you, hun. Toy is in the club, and we all believe that allegedly she's guilty of infecting grandmother Ernestine. So naturally, Uncle Clifford kicks her out. Toy is going through it. Toy is about to have things repossessed. Her life's about to be cut off. Roulette comes through because she has the money from the chop shop situation where they, you know, stole Terrence's car, took it through the Duffy. So she done came through, you know, draped up and dripped out or whatever. And she offers Toy this money. And she's like, this is not a loan. It's more so a proposition. So I guess Roulette is now a madam. Okay, if that's where we're going with this, sure, why not? So Lil Murda decides that he's going to use tonight as the start of his tour with Tina Snow, aka Megan Thee Stallion. I felt like this was a really good idea. Uncle Clifford was taken aback by it, but it's like, how else can he come through and show support, you know, especially as their relationship is basically kind of like coming to an end because he does have to start back this tour. Like, they're not about to continue to play house. So Meg and Lil Murda are flirting heavy, and I want to be clear that I was also jealous. You know, Uncle Clifford is looking like, but she can't say anything. And, you know, I felt jealous as well. Meg is everything. Like, I don't stand for anyone. I don't believe in like stan culture, but I go hard for me some Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, I think she did a great job. She looked amazing. I love the single. Like, I love her Tina Snow persona. I was very excited about all of this. Then Uncle Clifford gets called to, what is it called? The Paradise Room. So then Lil Murda was looking like, well, since when do you do that kind of work? And it's like, mind your business. You know, we're all kind of going our separate ways here today. So Uncle Clifford gets to the Paradise Room, and it's Corbin's ass in there wanting to be BDSM'd again, and offers to pay Uncle Clifford what Autumn paid to save the club, which was $250,000. I realized that Corbin's dad left him a bunch of money, but how much money did he leave him? That he's footing the bill for the mayoral campaign. He cashed out Patrice Woodbine, and now he has $250,000 to give to Uncle Clifford. What is happening? What's happening? Where's it coming from? I have questions. Andre proposes to Autumn that she leases the club instead of selling it, which means that Autumn would have to stick around. And again, is she going to keep these babies? Is she going to try to go from from mistress to wife? What's going to happen? Where's Andre's wife? The whole time I was thinking, how was Andre's wife not a factor in the mayoral race? Like, we just kind of skimmed over how that was handled. Maybe that's not our business. I don't know. So Keyshawn, Roulette, and Whisper lead the show in addition to Lil Murda and Megan Thee Stallion's performance. I was hoping that Mercedes' confidence in herself will be reignited, that she would conquer her fear and go up on the stage and reclaim her throne. But instead, she takes a back seat and just, you know, cheers Keyshawn on, which I love that moment of them, like, you know, catching each other's eye and like there's no beef. Because again, like, I love the sisterhood that they have, like, despite everything. So during Lil Murda's performance, like, we saw Maine and like the other gang members kind of like making eyes at him. They suspect that he's the one who's guilty of killing Pico, which we know that he is. But we don't want to see our boy taking out the game either. So the gang members start fighting because it's that thing of in the club of you already was kind of trying to beef with somebody and then somebody bumped into you. And it's just like, did they? You know, that whole thing. So a fight breaks out. It's murder night all over again, except this time the Pynk really stepped up their security because Diamond came through with the chopper. And in this skirmish where they start rushing the stage and fighting, Keyshawn is obviously triggered and just breaks down. She's caught up in the melee. And Diamond comes through and pulls her to safety. Once again, white knight syndrome. She makes out with him. Big Bone sees it. So now she's plotting some sort of strange revenge. We don't know what that's going to be because we can clearly see that she's thrown off. And it's like, Keyshawn, think it through, hun. Think it through. Anywho. So Lil Murda is not handling this well. Like Uncle Clifford pulls him backstage. He's freaking out. He, and then reveals that he has, caught a body. And Uncle Clifford is like, is that what I helped you, cover up? And obviously we know that that was Teek's suicide and not this murder or whatever. But Uncle Clifford is trying to implore him to get some more legitimate security when he goes on the road. And he doesn't want that. And it's like, that's, again, like that mentality I'm never going to understand. That need to prove yourself, that survival mode shit. Like, I don't get that. Intellectually, I understand it, but like, it's your life. It's your whole, like, it's your life. Do what you need to do to protect and to preserve your life. But grief takes on many strange manifestations. So maybe this is a part of him still grieving Teek and like that anger and maybe a survivor's remorse as well. We don't know. So Uncle Clifford, following that confrontation, discovers the drugs that Duffy and Big L have been running through the club. She completely freaks out. She is not okay with drugs on any level, from the impact to the people who are addicted to it, the fact that family members get caught up in revenge because like you didn't pay something. She doesn't want any parts of it. And Big L is like, you need to kind of like grow up. You're losing your kingdom to this high yellow hole who done came through and basically took over. You need to be more willing to get your hands dirty. He even suggests that they should kill Autumn, which I was like, oh, Big L, I did not know you was the type of dude. And I was really surprised Uncle Clifford fired him. And then he quits, but I was really surprised to actually see that completely break down. And then Lil Murda and Mercedes have a chat. I completely forgot about their interaction last season, that he's still so enamored with her, which I just find to be very sweet, that he still views her as like the queen. And it's like, Keyshawn is good at what Keyshawn does, but there's also something very unique about what Mercedes could do with her body to his music. And I thought it was really special that he still really like valued her opinion and had her listen to his new music. And I'm like, is he going to ask her to go on the road? Or maybe there's an opportunity for her to be like A&R or something like that, like for his music. I don't know, but I'm also really nervous because Pico's baby mama insists that she is just sure that Lil Murda is responsible for this death, for the murder of Pico. And when you say certain shit in your songs, yeah, you could just be performing because it is a form of entertainment, but you could also be dead ass serious and confessing to legitimate crimes, which is something that we're seeing play out in real life right now. So this episode stressed me the hell out. It gave us a lot to think about, including the fact that Lakeisha Savage and Andre got caught by his wife. But then it's like, for me, who cheated first? Because we don't know how long his wife was sleeping with the other doctor, but we know that he cheated on her with Autumn. We don't know which came first. Either way, they've both been unfaithful. And it's like, let's not pretend that this is, I don't know, like a normal marriage, where it's like, oh, we've been caught. Well, this isn't new. This marriage isn't great. He don't even go there, really. Like, you don't even go here. He don't even live in the house no more. He started a whole mayoral race in a whole ass other town. So I'm very curious what his wife was even there to do. Is she there to serve him papers, or what's the tea? So we have a lot to look forward to on the season finale. I'm not ready for it to end, but I am ready for these questions to be answered. Drop in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought of the penultimate episode of season 2, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.